ready to get started. If I could have your attention, please. On est prêt à commencer.
We're ready to start.
I see a quorum. Pursuant to Standing Order 1063A, as the clerk of the committee, I will preside over the election of the chair and the vice chairs. I must inform members that the clerk of the committee can only receive motions for the election of the chair, that the clerk of the committee cannot receive other types of motions, cannot entertain points of order, nor participate in debate. We can now proceed to the election of the chair. Pursuant to Standing Order 1062, the chair must be a member of the government party. I am ready to receive motions for the chair. Mr. Kellaway.
I nominate MP Shifke.
It has been moved by Mr. Kellaway that Mr. Shifke be elected as chair of the committee. Are there any further motions? Okay. Given that there are no further motions, I will now put the motion to the committee. Is it the pleasure of the committee to adopt the motion?
Yes.
Yes.
The motion is carried, and I invite Mr. Shifke to take the chair.
Get your seat. Okay. J'ai perdu mon collègue.
I've lost my colleague.
Well, thank you for the vote of confidence, colleagues. Very much appreciated. I've said it before, but I'll say it again. I'm looking forward to working with each and every one of you to continue on the good work that we did in the previous session. Even with all the hoopla that was going on, I feel like we were able to do some really good work together, and I know that we'll continue in the same vein. A couple of housekeeping things. I will read the statement that we're required to read at the beginning of every meeting, and then we'll move on with the election of the vice chairs. Before we continue, I'd ask all in-person participants to consult the guidelines written on the cards on the table. These measures are in place to help prevent audio and feedback incidents and to protect the health and safety of all of our participants, including the interpreters. You will also notice a QR code on the card, which links to a short awareness video. I'd also like to make a few comments for the benefit of members. First, please wait until I recognize you by name before speaking. For those participating by video conference, click on the microphone icon to activate your mic, and please mute yourself when you are not speaking. For those on Zoom, at the bottom of your screen, you can select the appropriate channel for interpretation, either floor, English, or French. For those in the room, you can use the earpiece and select the desired channel. A reminder that all comments should be addressed through the chair. For members in the room, if you wish to speak, please raise your hand. For members on Zoom, please use the raise hand function. The clerk and I will manage the speaking order as best we can, and we appreciate your patience and understanding in this regard. And with that, Mr. Clerk, I look forward to working with you as well. You as well. Okay, colleagues, a couple of housekeeping things. We'll begin with the election of our vice chairs. Does anybody want to move? Yes, Mr. Lawrence.
I would like to nominate Mr. Dan Albus.
So nominated. Oui, Monsieur Barcelou-Duval.
Yes, Mr. Barcelou-Duval. I think there was no translation at the moment, so we'll stop until we can confirm that the interpretation is working.
À français, c'est ça?
The nomination blew their minds.
They're rebelling. So I'm just going to keep speaking in English to ensure that Mr. Barcelou-Duval has translation. Oui, ça marche? Parfait. Merci, Mr. Barcelou-Duval. So we have Mr. Lawrence nominating Mr. Albus. Oui, Monsieur Lauzon.
J'aimerais proposer Monsieur Barcelou-Duval.
I would like to propose Mr. Barcelou-Duval also as second vice president, as vice president.
Donc on va voir.
So
So we'll go with the first and then we'll have the second.
We're electing the first vice chair.
Okay. Oui, on va faire une à la fois.
Yes,
Donc
we'll
on va...
do one at a time. So we'll start with Mr. Albus. Are we all in favor?
Unanimous. Congratulations, Mr. Albus. Thank you very much. Look forward to working with you, sir. Et est-ce qu'il y a quelqu'un qui peut...
And Mr. Lauzon, yes, for the second vice president, Mr. Barcelou-Duval. Super.
Perfect. Unanimous. Mr. Barcelou-Duval, félicitations.
Congratulations, Mr. Duval.
Now that we have gotten that out of the way, there are a slew of routine motions that we need to go through. And Mr. Callaway, with that, I know that you volunteered to read us through those. I'll turn the floor over to you, sir.
Initiation, I think, but here we go. Under analyst services, that the committee retain as needed and at the discretion of the chair, the services of one or more analysts from the Library of Parliament to assist in its work.
Did we want to perhaps read through them all?
Do you want me to go through them all?
Can we do that, Mr. Clerk, if we read through them all and then adopt them, or is there...
As the committee wishes.
Mr. Albus?
It's my understanding, and sorry, Mr. Callaway, that there's been considerable discussion previous to this meeting, and that all parties have agreed to the routine motions as presented, so maybe we could take them as one block, as a single yea or nay.
Okay. Any objection to that, colleagues? Pas d'objection? No? Perfect. Okay, so we have, I guess, Mr. Albus moving that we adopt all of the routine motions omnibus. Everyone in favor?
Yep.
No opposition? So adopted. Merci beaucoup.
Thank you very much.
Invite the analyst to come take her because we just agreed to retain the services of the analysts, so we can invite them.
Wonderful. So now I have the honor and the pleasure of inviting back Alexandre as an analyst. We worked together for many years, and we're going to be well served by his services. And we also have someone new who I've just met this morning, and I'll give you an opportunity perhaps to present yourself to the members of the committee.
Bonjour, mon nom est Kamla. Mon nom est Cam.
Hey, hello, my name is Kanla. I'm happy to be here. Welcome, Kamala.
So if you can go to the Google Play.
We have
Play Store.
somebody online?
Okay.
If you could, for the members online, just make sure that you're on mute. Perfect. Okay. Good. So we're good with routine motions adopted? Yes, Mr. Muse.
Just having served on this committee in the entirety of the 44th Parliament, there were a few committee reports that we worked on diligently as committee members and as the staff and clerks and analysts that did not receive a government response prior to dissolution of Parliament. And so I'd like to propose that we move that those be retabled and ask for a response.
Thank you,
I
Mr.
can
Muse.
specify what those are if you wish, or...
Yes, if you want to read those in to make sure that we are all on the same page.
Sure. So, so the committee adopted a report entitled "The Lake Erie Connector: A Project in the Best Interest of the Public?" ? And the corresponding supplementary and dissenting reports that were adopted in the first session of the 44th Parliament. That pursuant to Standing Order 109, the committee requests the government table a comprehensive response to the report, and that the chair present that report to the House. So that's one of them. There's 4 studies.
Sure, go ahead.
And so I won't reread the whole verbiage, but I'll just cite the studies. So there was one towards accessible air transportation in Canada. And that was that study that we completed and did not receive a response. There was the third one, issues and opportunities, high-frequency rail in the Toronto to Quebec City corridor. And then the fourth one was the role of McKinsey and Company in the creation and the beginnings of the Canada Infrastructure Bank. So all of those were completed. There was reports tabled and dissenting reports, but no comprehensive response.
Thank you, Mr. Muse. We've all heard the terms of Mr. Muse's motion. I think there were discussions prior to the meeting as well. All those in favor of retabling those reports in the House? All those opposed? Vous êtes en faveur pour...
Je dois avouer, Monsieur le Président, que j'ai pas
I have to
bien...
say, Chair, that I wasn't able to follow what's happening here, but it's to to get the responses of the government on the report.
Got all that down, Clerk? Perfect. Okay. Yes, Mr. Albus.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair, and congratulations on your role. Look forward to working with everyone. I would like to, for this committee to debate the following motion so that we can refer to it as to the House. That, given that BC Ferries announced it will purchase 4 new full-size ferries from a state-owned company, a Chinese state-owned company, rather than from a proven Canadian shipbuilder such as Seaspan in North Vancouver, and the Liberal government is set to subsidize this purchase with a handout to BC Ferries, that it be reported to the House that the committee calls on the government to attach a common-sense condition of buying Canadian-built ships built by Canadian workers in its transfer payments to BC Ferries. If you like, I can speak that en français as well.
If you would like to, Mr. Albus, sure.
Étant donné que BC Ferries...
Given that BC Ferries has announced that they were buying 4 new ferries of normal size from a Chinese-owned state company, rather than to go for a Canadian company that's proven its quality, like Seaspan is in Vancouver, and that the Liberal government wants to finance this purchase, the committee is asking to add a common sense condition to the transfer payments, being that ships should be built in Canada by Canadian workers.
No, I'd like for us to debate this now so we can get this immediately before the House as a recommendation.
Yes, Mr. Callaway.
A report to the House, I should say.
I'm just wondering when you get that sent in both official languages to us so we can review it as well.
Okay, Mr. Callaway, can we have that? Do you have that? Okay. Any objection to suspending for 5 minutes while that's being sent around so people can have a look at it, have discussions?
Yeah.
Okay. This meeting is suspended to the call of chair. To order. Mr. Callaway, you had something, and then Mr. Barcelona, I think.
Sure. Thanks, Chair, and the member opposite for putting that forward. Our thought on this is that, we will have some time to plan our approaches, our studies, our thoughts going forward in September. But when it comes to BC ferries, there is, I think, some reasonable debate on our side that would, focus on the fact that, this is predominantly a provincial matter. What we're hoping to do is focus on Bill C5, focusing on the One Canadian Economy Act. There, in the next 48 hours, there's a lot to pack in those 48 hours with respect to witnesses, in terms of different stakeholder groups that are coming in. So our hope and our expectation and our thoughts here is that, let's look at planning our schedule in September. Maybe this is part of it, maybe it's not. But right now that we have quite a few things on the hopper when it relates to Bill C5.
Thank you, Mr. Callaway. I'll turn it back over to Mr. Albus, as it was his motion. So.
Yes, thank you very much, Mr. Chair. And look, we are facing some trade-offs here. I obviously know that there are some important business that the committee wants to attend to, but I will say that if we do not require the government to immediately tell the province of British Columbia and BC Ferries that they need to start doing shipbuilding here in Canada, whether that be at Seaspan in North Vancouver, or whether it's Davie Shipyards in Quebec, or another shipyard, Mr. Chair. The fact is, right now, the BC government and the BC Ferries are proceeding to purchase ships from the state-owned enterprise. So if we are going to be responsible members of Parliament, we need to give immediately notice to the House of our opinion that this should not go forward. And I would just simply ask that everyone support this common sense amendment, that we support Canadian jobs, whether it be at Irving Shipyards, whether it be at Davie Shipyards, whether it be at Seaspan, and make that statement right now, because the BC government is going to be is being pressured right now to tell BC Ferries to stop this procurement process and to restart it. So if we don't, as members of the Transport Committee, immediately put our foot down and say that this is not tenable, that Canadian jobs should be supported first, Mr. Chair, I'm afraid that simply if we wait till we get to this, maybe in the fall, that option point has passed us by, and we will only have ourselves to blame. So I ask all honourable members to support Canadian jobs, Canadian steel, especially during this time where our steel and aluminum industries are hit so hard. We must stand firm that we cannot be offshoring to places that subsidize their steel, that have lower environmental regulations, and also substandard labor situations, which allows them to undercut Canadian enterprise like shipbuilding and steel.
Thank you very much, Mr. Albus. Mr. Barcelona, est-ce que vous voulez parler de ça?
Oui.
Parfait.
Yes. Well, I simply want to say that I didn't have any previous notice of this notion because the committee didn't exist, so it was hard to get advance notice. But if I'd received it, I would have been able to learn more about it and to make a decision on its content. So it's a lot at once, and I understand my colleagues' concerns, but I don't think this is the right moment to come to a vote on this. So I would propose that we table the motion and that we come back to that a bit later and to be able to take a position being better informed. Thank you. Mr. Lauzon? In that case, Mr. Chair, I propose that we suspend the debate on this. Thank you, Mr. Lauzon.
Do you want to? Yes, please.
On the motion to adjourn debate, Mr. Kellaway.
Yes.
Monsieur
Yes.
Lauzon.
Oui.
Ms. Nguyen.
Yes.
Mr. Greaves.
Yes.
Mr. Albus.
No.
Mr. Lawrence.
No.
Dr. Lewis.
No.
Mr. Muse.
No.
Mr. Barsalou-Duval.
Oui.
Is yeas 5, nays 4.
The motion carries. Colleagues, now, if you're in favor, I'd like to discuss C5. Make sure that we're all on the same page over the next couple of days. I see your hand is already up high. Mr. Barsalou-Duval, à vous la parole.
Oui, ben, en fait, je voulais pas...
Yes, I didn't want to interrupt, but I'm wondering if in the planning after C5 we would have time to table other motions, because they're not necessarily motions where we need to take positions or debate, but just to give some notice so that people will know that this would be topics that the committee could discuss at one point. Do we do it now, or will we wait until after C5?
And I don't see on it.
Let's go ahead. But I do feel C5 should be the priority, and maybe if there's time, then we can discuss other things. But for the moment, maybe even tomorrow or Wednesday, we can see what we'll do.
What to expect. And on that, I open the floor to discussions or comments on this. Yes, Mr. Lawrence.
Thank you. And I think this will, I think everyone would agree around this table that C5 will be an important piece of legislation. I look forward to working productively. On that note, I guess my starting position would be, I believe that the committee should act as if the block amendment is going to be accepted by the House. If in fact it's not, all that simply means is that there are less committee. But I think it's incumbent on us to give the clerks the time, as in accordance with, I believe, the block amendment. There are going to be about 12 hours or so of testimony, and we will want to give those witnesses starting tomorrow. We want to give, I feel sorry for the clerks, the maximum amount of time to contact these individuals so that we can get as many of those witnesses as we possibly can. So that would be where I would propose to start our discussion.
Thank you, Mr. Lawrence. And this is just a point of clarification for the clerk. The block's motion states that it would be 10:30 a.m. until midnight tomorrow. 10 a.m. until midnight tomorrow. Is that on top of Wednesday, or would that be replacing Wednesday's time already?
In addition.
In addition to. Okay. And based on your assessment, because this would definitely fall on your shoulders, Mr. Clerk, would we be able, do you think, to secure the witnesses by tomorrow at 10 a.m.?
I can do my very best.
You can do your very best, but there's no guarantees. Okay. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Okay. Any other questions or comments, colleagues? Do we want to? We all good to go? Do you want to suspend for a couple minutes? Just for a couple minutes to figure out what this all means? Okay, this meeting will be suspended to the call of the chair. Colleagues, as you can see, the bells are ringing. Do I have unanimous consent to continue for a couple of minutes until we conclude the business of C5?
Yes.
You do. Okay, I have unanimous consent. Mr. Albus, you had a motion you wanted to perhaps propose to the committee members.
Yeah, just given the uncertainty and that the House has yet to give direction to this committee, I think it's just an abundance of caution if we just direct all parties to submit to the clerk by 1 p.m. today for their intended witnesses for C5, and that the chair and the clerk be tasked with the most efficient schedule for tomorrow. And that they'll report back when they have a work plan based on what the House of Commons decides today.
So moved. Thank you, Mr. Albus. Oui, Mr. Barcelou-Duval.
La seule question que j'ai...
The only question I would have, I agree that we sent our list of witnesses for 1 p.m. this afternoon, and we do it as quickly as possible so that the clerks can begin to work. But do we have an idea as to whether the amendment we have on the government motion, if it were to be adopted, about how many witnesses would we have time to hear, to have an idea of how many witnesses we have to submit? Do we submit 5, 10, 15, 20? Because some are more important than others, and we'd rather have them, but we wouldn't want the be limited by the number of witnesses. It's a good question, Xavier. I think best case scenario is 36, 3 times 12. But when we have a minister, normally it's just the minister who's there. So I would say 28 to 36 witnesses maximum. Yeah. If they can put 3 in each block, and that would be something. Mr. Alvis?
One to put forward their witnesses in a ranked So your number one choice all the way down, just so that the clerk can make quick decisions.
Does that work for everybody? Okay, so we're all in agreement? So adopted. Mr. Clerk, is there anything else you needed to be able to move forward with this? C5. If there's nothing else, colleagues, we have a vote now, so I will adjourn the meeting and look forward to possibly seeing you all here again tomorrow morning at 10 a.m., if not 3:30. Merci beaucoup tout le monde. This meeting's adjourned.